Hi, I'm Darryl Cross and I'm an executive and personal coach, but I also act as a careers coach. That's because I'm a clinical psychologist and organisational psychologist, and a few decades back I was involved in career guidance testing and have done that for all of my professional career. So it's an area that I hold close to my heart because it really is critical for people to get to understand their strengths and work on those strengths so that they are able to determine their appropriate career path, because that's where they get motivation, that's where they get satisfaction from. When I first started in this whole career guidance area, most of the people I would have seen would have been adolescents who came through for assistance, but I can clearly say that now, decades later, that there would be a majority of people that I would see would be adults. Who are coming because we now know that school leavers, for example, have something like 10 to 14 job changes throughout their career, and may in fact have 3 or 4 job changes, and that has meant that adults too have followed similarly. We have people now moving interstate, overseas. We have people moving between jobs. The X and Y generation seem to stay somewhere around 2 to 4 years and then they move, not like it was generations ago where they just had 1 or 2 jobs. So this whole notion of career guidance and career coaching is now very relevant for adults as well as for teenagers too. I certainly see a good deal of students in year 10, 11 and 12 who need to decide on courses in secondary school, but more particularly tertiary courses at university, college or TAFE. And I certainly see a lot of adults who are dissatisfied in the workplace, who are not motivated, who have felt that they've never really quite found their niche, and often feel that there's more out there for them. So this whole notion of career guidance is absolutely fundamental and critical to a person's self-esteem. It's a little bit like, I guess, trying to determine whether you're a square peg or a round peg, and then figuring out where all the round holes are or where all the square holes are. That's a pretty basic analogy, but it'll do, and it's no good the round peg trying to fit in the square hole, which is often what happens, or the square peg trying to fit into the round hole, or whatever shape you might deem yourself to be. So how do we go about this whole notion of career guidance? Well, it's a bit like putting a jigsaw together in a way. We have pieces of the jigsaw that we need to work out, and these pieces of the jigsaw are virtually your particular strengths and your particular characteristics, because what you have to understand is that a job needs to be an extension of who you are. A job needs to be an extension of who you are, and who you are is your strengths. Who you are is your talents. And so these talents we often measure and assess, and so we have tests that will look at your values. What do you want out of a job? Other than just money, what is it that would give you job satisfaction? What is it that will get you out of bed in the morning? Is it job flexibility? Is it independence? Is it the ability to be creative? Is it status? What is it that you would look for that you would value? What's important to you in the workplace? So that's part of the jigsaw and the puzzle. And the next part is personality. Who are you as an individual? What's your personality? Are you introverted, for example? Are you extroverted? It suggests that, the literature suggests that something like 40% of the population are introverted and something like 60% are extroverted. It's important to know about your general personality, and what does that mean in terms of how you behave. The next area is interests, what you like and what you dislike. Because if you like something, you're more likely to do well in it. And so it's important to be able to work out what your work interests are. Are you interested in the helping professions and providing service? Are you interested in the maths computational area? Are you interested in the science, technical, engineering area? Perhaps you're interested in nature or recreation. Perhaps you're interested in persuading or influencing others. These are all what we call interests, and we need to find out what it is that you might major in and what's important to you. And the last area is what I would call your work style. And that's different from personality. Personality is how you are generally. Work style is how you are at work. How do you work? And how do you behave at work? So these areas are critical areas which, when all put together, what we're actually working out is your particular strengths. What are your strengths? What are your talents? And once we've put that formula together, what we'll then be able to do is determine the jobs or the careers that fit very clearly into these particular talents or strengths. Are you a round peg or a square peg? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You just need to be able to work that out. And sometimes we do that by sheer good luck, but there is a way called career guidance and career assessment that we can then work out our particular strengths and talents and then work out our jobs and careers. And from that, we can then coach and work out an action plan for how you would get from where you are now into this new career, whatever it might be, that we would determine from your strengths and talents. This is a process that is tried and true, and having completed that process for hundreds and hundreds of people, I can now tell you that it provides great job satisfaction and a real sense of achievement and confidence, knowing that you can identify your strengths and then working towards an action plan that realises those strengths in terms of a career. I put it to you, if you haven't found your career and found your niche, it's really worth doing. It'll change your life substantially.